All right, guys, welcome back. Hopefully you guys have been following us along. And last week, you should have seen our first video of the series, which was our flight to Orlando and then embarkation day. So this past video now is our perfect day at CocoCay or CocoCay.
Which one is it?
CocoCay or CocoCay? I have no clue. That's been the biggest debate because a song that you hear when you're out there.
Because K rhymes with day.
Yeah.
So they say, the perfect day at CocoCay. But I guess the Bahamas dialect pronounces C-A-Y, which an American might read as K. It's pronounced as key. But it doesn't rhyme with perfect day.
It's definitely confusing. So it was kind of weird though to be on the cruise and then all of a sudden, now this is the first cruise since we went on one in January of 2020 and then before the world shut down. So it's been 2 years since we've been on a cruise, and then so first day we're on and all of a sudden the next morning we're in a different island
in the Bahamas.
Which is obviously not very far from Florida. So
I mean, we didn't even leave Florida till 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Something.
And I think we docked in the Bahamas at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So to get there by ship, 12-ish hours.
Yeah. So first time for both of us to go to CocoCay.
It was fun. We did nothing.
Yes, exactly. We did absolutely nothing other than just lay on the beach chair things.
We found Chill Beach.
Chill Beach. Yeah.
And found a couple good beach chairs under the shade. And I think I took a nap. And then found some lunch.
Well, first we tried to find lunch. They weren't open yet.
Yeah, I was a little upset about that.
So we hung out by the pool where everybody.
Everybody
was over there. It was loud. Music was loud. But it was fun. We got more drinks there. It was just pretty crowded over there. Then we got lunch. But we didn't do much at all at CocoCay.
No, because we didn't pay for anything.
Yeah,
so.
Which you don't need to, which is nice.
Well, the other nice thing is that the ship's Wi-Fi, if you pay for Wi-Fi, it works on that island as well.
And if you have the drink package, that's included out there too.
So that's a huge plus to having that port so close to Florida.
One other thing at CocoCay, Independence of the Seas was there.
Sister ship.
Which looked nearly identical to the Mariner of the Seas that we were on. So that was cool to see them literally docked right next to each other.
Yeah.
So it's pretty impressive to kind of walk up to it.
Yeah, but to be on the island with even two ships, I would say that island was like 50% full.
Yeah, that's right. So what we found out, I don't remember when we found out, but our ship, I think capacity is at 5,500, and we were at 30% capacity. So they stated 1,300 guests were on board our ship. So, which is nothing. So again, like you were saying, assuming Independence of the Seas was cruising at 30 to 50%. Yeah, there was literally only 3,000 people on that island that day.
And it's a pretty decent sized island.
Yeah. But if you're looking at it from the ship, it's really tiny. But being on it by foot, there's definitely a lot to do at CocoCay. We just decided not to pay for anything and do any of the excursions. Yeah, just laid out on the beach. Now there's a bunch of slides, hot air balloon, jet skis, a bunch of things that you could do.
Snorkeling.
Yeah, you just, they just cost a little bit of money. And,
yeah.
But again, we just opted out of that. So,
which I would do again.
Yeah, I don't need to do any of that stuff because, the slides, even though they were pretty big huge, slides, they have some on the cruise ship. So,
yeah.
But I don't know. We spent maybe half the day out there.
Yeah, I think we went back to the ship about 2 o'clock, maybe 1 or 2 o'clock. Took another nap.
It did. We get Starbucks that day too?
I think so. Yeah, on the ship.
Yeah, which Marina Seas has Starbucks. So that was interesting. But the weird thing about that, the guy that made our Starbucks drinks is Filipino too. So the one thing about Starbucks is I think we were the only ones that bought it.
Yeah, there might have been a couple others. And the whole thing was that it wasn't included. Yeah. And it wasn't included in any of the drink packages either, right. Which, I feel like you could get at least one on your drink package, but that wasn't the case. Thankfully, Michael had some Starbucks gift cards, so
yeah,
technically it was free.
You could use that.
Your stars or whatever.
Your Starbucks app. That's they accept that at the Starbucks on the ship. So that was, it was a legit Starbucks.
It looked like a legit Starbucks. They had its own seating area.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think in the last podcast, it wasn't proudly serving Starbucks. It was the actual. It was the real deal.
It actually looks like one of the Starbucks you would see at a grocery store, Target, or something like that.
Yeah.
Looks just like that. But yeah, so we did that, and then we just hung out on like the pool deck area, or deck 12 actually. Hung out there for a little bit and walked around up there to take a look at a few things like the sports court area.
Yeah, putt-putt.
Putt-putt. Kind of just enjoyed the weather out there. It was really nice, especially in the shade. In the sun, it was a little warm.
It was warm in the sun, but that's what you get.
Yeah. Well, the rest of the night, or that afternoon, the evening, we just again hung out at the Schooner Bar, ate at the main dining room.
Yeah, so I think it was that night that I was just feeling kind of drained, and so we did do the Starbucks. And then I wanted a drink. And I decided I wanted an espresso martini.
Uh-huh.
So we got a couple delicious espresso martinis, which I think Ferdy actually made for us. So shout out to Ferdy because those were awesome.
I thought we also got that on the first day.
I don't remember.
I don't remember anymore. But
that started our martini kick. And we started getting Albertinis.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting.
So Albert, the bartender, had 10 different varieties of martinis that he had named Albertinis.
We still don't know if it's 10 or 9. I think we ended up at 9.
Yeah. I think we were possibly one short.
But it was a lot of different kinds.
Yeah, a lot of different colors. It was fun. Everybody was always asking what we were drinking. We said Albertini number 4.
What's in it? I don't know.
It's number 4.
It's number 4. So they were all good. Yeah, Albert and Ferdy were just such good people.
Mm-hmm. We enjoyed it.
They're fun to hang out with. I don't know if we got special treatment because I'm Filipino and they are too, but whatever.
It was fun. But that night we ate in the main dining room.
And that waiter is Filipino.
Of course.
The head waiter is Filipino.
And then going back to the whole dietary restriction, we were asked again, and I told them. And so they said, well, what do you want to eat from the menu? And I am so used to, even on the last Royal Caribbean cruise I went on, they would tell me the dishes that could be modified to be gluten-free.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was very confused when they weren't telling me what could be modified to be gluten-free. So Michael finally told me anything. They'll make anything gluten-free. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a dream come true. I can eat anything.
Yeah.
And so we ordered, and it took a little bit longer because I made my food fresh. And then every night that we ate in the dining room, I would get the menu for the next night ahead of time.
Yeah.
So that I could put in my order and they could be more prepared. But that was really awesome, having an entire menu to pick from, for one. Then for two, they also brought me out gluten-free table bread. Oh, and that was so much fun. I mean, again, it wasn't the most delicious gluten-free bread I've ever had. It was very small. Yeah. But to be able to not just watch Michael eat bread and to actually partake in it myself was, it made a difference in the experience. So kudos to that waitstaff that made that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty nice. And, so our seat was like literally right up against the
grand staircase.
The grand staircase, yeah, in the dining room. And the dining room's 3 levels, tall or high. So I guess my view every night was at the staircase. You had everything else, like the chandelier and all that.
Beautiful chandelier.
So it was definitely nice. Nice dining room. Yeah, we definitely had a table for 2, but it was a table for 2 next
very
to
close to other table
for 2s. So we basically every night had a table of 6. Yeah. Which was fine
for people who don't like to talk to other people. Yeah. We do not enjoy talking to others.
So it was fine.
And that night we went to the show.
Center stage.
Well, that was the expectation, was center stage, but they were what we assume were promoting the 70s night. So it was a montage of 70s songs.
And the juggler.
The juggler, yes. I forgot about him.
Yeah, I forgot about the juggler. He was good. The center stage production was mediocre.
Yeah, well, we'll leave that at that. Usually, Royal does a really good job on their production.
They do. It was okay. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. So, but with that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed our day at CocoCay or CocoCay. I don't know. CocoCay, I guess.
I think I'm going to roll with CocoCay.
Good. But so be sure to keep watching as the next video coming up is the episode of our day in Nassau, Bahamas.
Yeah.
So we didn't do too much, but that was the whole plan for this entire cruise. It's not doing much at all. So let us know what you guys think, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Bye.
See ya.